So friends, today I am going to tell you a very strange and very old story. So this story is of the time when we were not even independent. The British were imposing their rule and system on us, and we did not have many resources available. An incident around 1880, a rich family used to live in a district of up. His name was Har Kumar Rai. He was a rich and big landlord. His family consisted of husband, wife, and their 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. The names of the boys were Gopal and Shyam, and the daughter's name was Aruna. Aruna was the eldest among them. Aruna was 15 or 16 years old when she got married. Her marriage was done in a far-flung village. The marriage was also done in a big landlord family. Big mansion for gardens and all the comforts. She was very happy. Overall, Aruna was married from one rich family to another big rich family. When Aruna got married, one of her brothers was 13 years old and the other was 10 years old. Only a few months had passed since the marriage, and after a few months, Diwali was the festival. There was a tradition that on such festivals, sweets, clothes, and many other things were given as gifts from one family to another. Aruna wanted that this Diwali both her brothers Shyam and Gopi should come to meet her. They were also on vacation recently. When they returned home from the city, both the brothers took sweets and other things from their house and left for their sister Aruna's village. At that time there were not so many cars and vehicles. Traveling from village to village was still done in the old ways. If one was poor, he would go by bullock cart, and if he was rich, he would go by buggy. Both the brothers were going to Aruna's house in a buggy along with a servant of their house. Aruna's village was so far away that it would take 2 days to go even by buggy. So both the brothers left for going there in the morning. While traveling through the jungles and hills, they stayed the first night in the village of one of their relatives. At that time, there was no electricity and other things in the village, so people did not travel at night. After that night passed, the next day morning they again left for their further journey, and that day in the evening, both the brothers reached their sister's house. Aruna was very happy to see her brothers. For the first time, someone had come from the daughter-in-law's house. So both of them were respected there. They talked and had dinner with everyone. At night, both of them had sleeping arrangements in a big room on the top floor of the mansion. The room was very big and there was a gallery leading out of the room. Both were taken care of very well. Now both were very tired and wanted to rest. Actually, both the brothers were going to stay there till Dusra. Being a new place, Gopi and Shyam were unable to sleep. Both were lying on the bed talking. There was also fatigue of the journey. After talking for a long time, Gopi fell asleep. It was midnight. It was very dark outside. There was a lantern light inside the room. It was burning on a low flame. Then in the evening, the younger brother heard the sound of some conversation from outside. He could hear 2 women talking to each other outside. They were talking, but he was unable to understand what they were talking about. He still did not pay much attention to those voices and closed his eyes. He thought that it must be some servant of the house, but still their conversation continued after some time. On paying a little attention, he understood that whoever they were 2 women and they were fighting with each other. Now Shyam was a little surprised at who was fighting at such a late hour, and it was so late, and their conversation was not stopping. He thought that it must be some servant of the house, but still their conversation continued after some time. On paying a little attention, he understood that whoever they were 2 women, and they were fighting with each other. Now Shyam was a little surprised at who was fighting at such a late hour, and it was so late, and their conversation was not stopping. Shyam also got curious to see who was talking at such a late hour. Shyam opened the door with a red lamp and went out in the gallery, and he started looking here and there below the gallery to see who was talking. At first he could not see anything, but now the conversations, which he was hearing, and clearly he started hearing them clearly. He was able to hear that 2 women were arguing with each other. The first woman would say that I am beautiful and the second woman would say that I am beautiful. Shyam was surprised and thinking that which mad person was talking meaninglessly at such a late hour, and because of this, he and curiosity arose, and he decided to see who those mad women were. Shyam was at the back of the mansion. There was a big garden outside, and in a corner there was a place for the landlord and the guests to sit and have tea. Then Shyam's attention went towards that side. There was a lantern, and in its light 2 women were sitting. Both of them, the women, were fully decked up like someone in wedding attire, and they were sitting there arguing among themselves that who was more beautiful. As soon as Shyam tried to look at them carefully in the light of the red lamp, both those women also looked at him and suddenly said to him, "Hey boys, you tell me who is more beautiful." Shyam's condition worsened due to their sudden look. He saw that the color of both was very dark, so dark that only their 2 white eyes were visible, and on hearing their strange voice, Shyam was scared to death. He got so scared that he ran inside the room, closed the door, and quickly laid down on the bed. Gopi woke up due to the sound of the door and the movement in the bed. His brother Shyam was then hiding inside the bed sheet, covered with a sheet. Gopi touched him and saw that he was shivering. Seeing his condition, Gopi asked him, "What happened? Why did you run away from there?" Shyam lay down scared. Nothing. Shyam felt that if I tell her, she will scold me, that what was the need to go there and see, and he just kept quiet. He remained lying down. After some time, Gopi realized that Shyam was reciting Hanuman Chalisa from under the sheet. Gopi understood that he has seen something very wrong. "Tell me what has happened. Why are you so scared?" Finally, when in the evening he felt that everything was normal, then he told Gopi that he was hearing some voices, and so he went out to see who was talking at such a late hour, who was fighting. But as soon as he looked down, he saw those strange women. As soon as Shyam told this to his brother, someone started banging on the door of their gallery loudly. Seeing that, both of them got scared and started thinking what to do next. They felt that it would be better to go out of the room, and they were about to get up from there. They were there when they saw that the door of the room was also ringing. Now their condition became worse, because now they could neither go out of the room nor in the gallery. They could not even call anyone. Both of them started reading Hanuman Chalisa loudly and started chanting the name of God loudly, but the louder they shouted, the sound of banging on the door also increased. They were able to hear those sounds. They could see that someone was banging the doors on both sides. They could also hear the tinkling of their bangles. By morning, those sounds became less. Both of them were already tired from the long journey. On top of that, due to lack of sleep throughout the night, by morning both of them fell asleep. Aruna's family members also thought that they must have been tired from the long journey, and that is why no one woke them up. Then before noon, both of them woke up from sleep. When they woke up, Gopi and Shyam told their sister that at night they had seen 2 strange women. Maybe they were some ghost or witch. Seeing the condition of both of them, Aruna told those things to her family members, but all of her family members started laughing at Gopi and Shyam. They told both of them that they have been living in this mansion for so many years, but they have never experienced anything like this till date. Maybe you must have had an illusion due to tiredness, but both the brothers were not ready to believe them. Both of them knew very well that whatever they had seen was not a dream. It was true, because they had spent the whole night in fear. Both of them were so scared that they told Aruna to celebrate Bhai Dooj today itself, because we cannot stay here tonight. We will not stay here at all. Aruna's in-laws were good people. After listening to them, Aruna's father-in-law explained to them that it is already afternoon and you have to go very far. You will not be able to reach another village till it gets dark. It is a jungle area. Anything can happen. So it is better that you both stay here tonight. Leave tomorrow morning. You will reach your relative's village by evening. Both of them were also not ready to listen to them. Both of them were talking about those women again and again. This time Aruna's father-in-law suggested a solution. Look, do one thing, you stay here tonight. We have many servants in our house. Out of them, 3 or 4 strong servants will stay with you. If anything goes wrong, they will handle it. After listening to them, Gopi and Shyam agreed to spend the night there. That night, 3 or 4 servants slept in Gopi and Shyam's room by putting mattresses, etc. But the whole night, Gopi and Shyam's attention was on those doors. Even a slight sound coming from somewhere would steal their sleep. They could not sleep properly that night as well. That night, somehow, they did not feel any strange sensation or hear any sound. The next morning, both of them were ready to leave. As soon as it was morning, both of them got ready quickly and left for their village in a buggy with their servant. After a journey of 2 days, they finally reached their village. After reaching home, both of them heaved a sigh of relief. They also told their mother about the incident that happened there. Gradually, everything became normal. Then neither did they feel bad nor did they see anything. As soon as the holidays were over, they went to the city for their studies. About 1.5 months passed like this. Now in those days, people did not have telephones, etc. Then there were people to send messages from one village to another. These people were like messengers, used to send people's letters or verbal messages from one village to another, and this was their job. One day, a messenger was sent to Aruna's house from her maternal home. He told Aruna's parents that Aruna's health is very bad and she is so ill that nothing can be said. Aruna has called you and both of them. She has called her brothers to meet her. Maybe it is her last wish. Gopi and Shyam were in the city for studies. When Aruna's parents sent them a message through their servant and said that your sister's health is very bad, you should come home immediately. And on the same day, her parents immediately left for Aruna's in-laws' house. When they reached there, they were shocked to see Aruna's condition. Her condition was so bad that it seemed as if someone had sucked the blood from her body. Her eyes were sunken, the flesh of the body had dried up and stuck to the bones. The nerves of the body were visible. The whole body had turned black. The face had also turned black. There was no light in the eyes. She did not even have the strength to lift her hands. Aruna's mother was very shocked to see her condition because everything was going well just a month ago. Her sons themselves had told her that Aruna is very happy and her in-laws are also very good. When Aruna's parents inquired from her in-laws, they told that the family members have taken care of her in every way. Don't know how many doctors were called, but no one's medicine had any effect on her. Her horoscope was shown to the pundits as well. Every remedy was tried, but it made no difference. They themselves are unable to understand what is happening to her, what disease she has. Some Vedas have even said that it is difficult for her to survive, and hence finally we have informed you. Every effort to save her is failing. Now everything is in the hands of God. Hearing all this, Aruna's mother felt very bad, but Aruna's mother was a great devotee of Lord Mahadev. So somewhere in her mind she had faith that Mahadev will cure her. Aruna's mother told her in-laws that just do us this favor, that we want to take her to our home, just allow us to go. I want to take her to our village, to our home. Maybe with a change in the air and water she might improve a little. Aruna's in-laws tried to explain to them that her condition is very bad. She is unable to walk even a single step. She does not have the strength to even get up. But Aruna's mother stood in front of them with folded hands and said that I know she does not have any strength, but still I want to take her. Maybe this is the last time, be the bar, let me take my daughter home. Aruna's in-laws also understood that who knows, this might be Aruna's last time. So her in-law did not oppose her and allowed her to take Aruna. That night Aruna's husband also went to drop her home. Aruna's parents brought her home. In those 2-3 days, they called many doctors to their home and told them about Aruna's problem. Many treatments were done, but all the doctors had given up. Her condition was very bad. There was less chance of survival. Everyone was telling them that her condition was so bad that they had no cure for her. Now after all this, after seeing everything, Aruna's mother also gave up. And that evening she went to Mahadevji's temple and started crying and pleading in front of God and started telling him her sorrow. That what sin did my daughter commit? I have worshipped you for years, and this is the result I am getting. Look at the condition of my daughter. God, seeing her, your soul will tremble. It is better to kill her than to let her live like this. She was repeatedly cursing the god and pleading before the idol of Lord Mahadev. The priest of the temple was sitting in a corner and listening to all her words very calmly. Aruna's mother, when she was crying and pleading, he did not say a single word, and he saw that she was bowing in front of the idol of God for a long time. After crying for a long time, she calmed down and left to go back home. By that time, it had become dark. Then the Panditji sitting there called her from behind. Mataji, I have heard all your talks. I have come to know from your talks that something very bad is happening to your son, whose cure you are not getting even after searching. Maybe you should take the help of an introvert, someone who's above all this. Hearing Panditji, Aruna's mother said to him, Panditji, where should I search? Where should I go? Then Panditji very calmly told her, Mataji, there is a crematorium outside the village. A few days ago, a Kapali has come and stayed there. Nobody goes there much. You should try once by going to his shelter. It is possible that he may help you. Aruna's mother got some relief after hearing this. She started seeing a ray of light and she went out of the temple. But as soon as she went out, she started thinking that crematorium, and she could go, and that too at this time, because it was the time when women were not allowed to go to the crematorium. But still she had to save her daughter by hook or by crook. So finally she took a tough decision to go to the crematorium that very night. And she set out towards the crematorium outside the village in the dark night without telling anyone. It was not long at night, but there was a deep silence. People had stopped coming and going. Darkness had covered the entire sky. Aruna's mother mustered up the courage to go inside the crematorium. As soon as she went inside, she looked around. She saw a man in a corner whose body was covered with ashes. The man was sitting in a meditative posture in front of a fire. Aruna's mother went and stood near him, but she did not call him. She felt that he was engrossed in meditation, and it would not be right to call him in such a situation. If his meditation is broken, he might get more angry. So she stood there quietly. A lot of time passed, but she did not open her eyes. Aruna's mother's legs started paining due to standing there for a long time, but she would stop again thinking about her daughter. After a long time, she started crying on her own. Kapali was also engrossed in meditation for a long time. He was neither looking at her nor opening his eyes, but still Aruna's mother stood there. She felt that she had come this far and it would not be right to go back empty-handed. After all, she felt like crying a lot. She fell in front of him with folded hands and started crying. In a short while, the Kapalini opened her eyes and politely said to her, Mata, don't cry, tell me what the problem is. Aruna's mother, while crying, told Kapalik Maharaj about her daughter's condition and told him that no solution was working on her, and so finally she was brought here. Hearing her words, Kapaliya got scared and immediately he followed her to her house. It was already late night. In a short while, both of them reached near the house. As soon as they reached there, Aruna's mother opened the gate, but Kapali Maharaj stopped there and closed his eyes. Aruna's mother did not say anything after seeing him. After a few minutes, opening her eyes, Kapaliya said, I cannot go inside. Whoever is inside will become alert. You just do one thing. Saying this, he took out some ashes from his hand and put it in the palm of Aruna's mother and told her to take this ash and apply it on the anklet of your daughter's feet. Remove the anklets of both the feet and bring it to me. Aruna's mother took the ashes and went inside the mansion. She saw Aruna lying unconscious. Maybe she was asleep. She quietly applied the ashes on the anklet of Aruna's feet and quietly removed the anklets of both the feet and brought her outside. Kapalik Maharaj saw the anklet and sat down at a place outside the house. He collected some wood and started his work. He lit a fire in them with his Shakti and sat in front of it and started meditating. Meanwhile, he took Aruna's anklet and lit it on fire. Aruna's mother could not understand what he wanted to do, but as soon as the anklet was thrown into the fire, a loud scream echoed from inside the mansion, and she saw that her daughter Aruna came running and stood at the door of the mansion. Her mother was shocked to see Aruna coming like that because she knew that she could not even get up from her place. She could not even move her hands and legs. She was getting it, and in that condition she ran there. Running in the same condition, she ran towards Kapali. He attacked her, but Kapalini stopped him at a distance with a gesture of her hand. His chanting of mantras was going on. Aruna's mother was standing there on one side and was watching everything. At the same time, her sons also reached there in a buggy. Seeing all that, both of them also stood quietly at a distance. Kalik signaled Aruna to come near the fire in the same way as he had signaled her to stop. Then Aruna went in front of them and pleaded and fell at their feet and started saying that, "Don't burn us, leave us. We will not do anything. Let us go." Then Kapali ordered them to come out of the girl's body and come and stand in front of me in their real form. Then suddenly Aruna fell down unconscious, and two souls came out of Aruna's body. Aruna's mother quickly caught Aruna, and then everyone saw that those were two witches who came out of Aruna's body. Both of them were witches who came out of Aruna's body. They stood in front of Kapali, and seeing them, Aruna's brother Shyam was also shocked because he had seen them before also when he had gone to his sister's house for Diwali. Those two were the same witches who were fighting sitting outside in the courtyard. Then Kapali asked those witches that, "Why did you both enter the body of this girl?" Then those witches told that a few days ago these two boys were traveling through the jungle. They stopped at a place during the journey, and then they went behind a tree to urinate. We were there. We saw them and did not want to trap them. We left our anklets there. They also saw the anklets and picked them up and took them with them. When they went to the girl's house or their sister's house, they left the anklets there by mistake. After that, they left from there in fear of us. The next day, a servant of this girl gave these anklets to her thinking they were hers. This mad girl also wore both the anklets without thinking, and then we entered her body. Actually, our victims were these two boys. We trap young boys and drank their blood. We get strength from that. But when they left, we made their sister our prey. We thought that if we make their sister sick, then these two brothers will definitely come to meet her, and that is why we entered her body. Hearing their words, all the members of Aruna's family were surprised. They had now come to know why those people had given so much trouble to Aruna, and the relief in all this was that those two brothers were also not at home, because they both were the victims of the witches. If they had been at home, they would have been killed by Kapali Maharaj, but due to Kapali Maharaj, all three were saved. Kapali took them with him, and while leaving, he asked to treat Aruna. Aruna got well again in a few months, and after getting well, she went back to her in-laws' house. Actually, in all this, her brothers had unknowingly picked up the anklet. They did not know that those anklets could have some connection with the witches, but in the end, due to the devotion of Aruna's mother and Kapali Maharaj, everything got fine. So friends, this was today's story. How did you like today's story? Do tell me by commenting. That's all for today. See you in the next episode like this. Thank you for that.